What is going on, you guys? It is Forrest from YGOBROSTCG, and today I am bringing to you my brand new 2019 November Blue Eyes White Dragon deck list. So let's get these boys out of the way and jump right into it.
It's time to duel!
So, of course, we got our 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, as always, accompanying it with my favorite ratio of 2 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragons. Now, for those of you who do wonder, this deck can work with this guy at 3, but after testing it, playing against some meta decks, I realized I only need him at 2. 1 Dragon Spirit of White. This is just the golden ratio for this card. I think if you want to, you can have it, but if you're good at managing your resources, 1 is only necessary. Rockin' Double Sage was running 3 after some testing, cut it down to 2. Same with White Stone of Ancients, had it at 3, cut it down to 2. Then, as always, the Golden Child, the White Stone of Legend at 1. And then my extra level 1 that I'm running in the deck to help with them link plays, 1 Glow Up Bulb. Now that's it for that main part of the engine. Now the extra spice, now fresh from Chaos Impact, we're running 1 Starlead Cipher, 1 Nebula, 1 Galactic Spiral. Now, I've been seeing on some pages, some people using like 3-3-3, 3-2-1, crazy different ratios. I'm going to break it down to you guys real quick and easy. So this guy, if you have two light and or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon this card in defense position, banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you can change every card on your field to level 8s. So this guy's really awesome. He's just a free level 8 you can slap on board just for doing your stuff. Nebula is kind of like alternative, but for himself and another level 8 in your deck. Just reveal the 2 of them in special. He does lock you into light and dark dragon monsters. Oh no, it's the entire deck, so no worries. And then you have Starlead Cipher, who basically acts kind of like Dragon Action if you're familiar with that card. You pitch any number of dragons from your hand to the graveyard, and basically search a dragon whose level is equal to the amount of levels sent. So if you send an 8 and a 1, you need to be searching a 9. But what I like to do is if I have like a dead Dragon Spirit of White in my hand, I'll summon him, pitch it, and then dig out like alternative, because that's going to be more useful. So that's basically how I use these guys, along with some other things you're going to see just coming up now. All 1-ofs. Love them as 1-ofs. Next up, 2, King of D. When he is summoned, discard a spell, search a flute, or a melody, or a Dragon Revival Rhapsody. This guy, with any other spell and Dragon Shrine, is nuts. And I'll break that down at the end of the deck list. Other extra level 4s in the deck, I'm running 1 Witch of the Black Forest and 1 Summoner Monk. So Summoner Monk acts as like a pseudo way to get King of D. His effect does only trigger when he is normal summoned, so keep that in mind if you do decide to run this deck. Witch of the Black Forest. When it is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 monster with 1500 or less of defense from your deck to your hand, but you can't use that card this turn. Basically, what I like to do is, if I'm trying to really figure out how I'm going to play into my opponent's turn, if I have to go first, I'll Summoner Monk, dig out Witch, make a Link 2, and then when she triggers, use it to search one of the last 3 monsters in the deck, triple Nibiru. So it's basically an in-deck way to search out Nibiru, and it allows us to run a little bit of a rank 4 engine in the extra deck to help us compete with some of these meta decks. Now we're going to move on to the spells. No surprise. 3 Melody, 3 Trade-In, 2 Dragon Shrine, and 1 Foolish Burial. I feel like you can either do 3 Dragon Shrine or this, and you're going to be fine either way. But Dragon Shrine with the King of D in the deck and Dragon Revival Rhapsody is insanely powerful. This is a personal choice, is 1 Majesty with the Eyes of Blue. I use this card kind of to act like a pseudo Foolish Burial because it allows you to send a Blue Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to target 1 face-up monster on the field. It cannot attack while it is face-up on the field. It's a quick effect that stalls out great, big, powerful power monsters. You know, this guy's awesome. He comes in clutch a lot, and it's also just a free spell if you need to ditch it for your Summoner Monk or your King of D. You don't really mind ditching it. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Rhapsody. If you have a spellcaster on your field, you can target up to 2 dragon monsters in your graveyard, including at least 1 normal monster. Special summon them. Your opponent takes no damage this turn. This is really powerful. If this is probably your best Reborn card going first or late game. Speaking of Reborns, let's just keep it going. Triple Return of the Dragon Lords. Self-explanatory, get them level 8s back. Help with some engine. I run 1 copy of 1 for 1. And then the only 2 traps in the deck. Double the ultimate creature of destruction. So for King of D, you can actually pitch a spell or a trap to trigger his effect, and the ultimate creature of destruction will reset itself from the graveyard when you summon a blue-eyes white dragon. So it's just another free card that you can pitch to get your King of D search, which is just awesome. Moving into the extra deck, 1 Twin Burst. This card is sneaky good against the meta and Rogue. He can kill Thunder Dragons because he basically says, go ahead, buff your Colossus or protect it. I'm just going to banish it instead. You know, same concept with the Titan. So if you can protect him with one of these, you can give, you know, those really tough contender meta decks a run for their money just with this one card. And he's super easy to summon. Just got to have 2 blue eyes on board, which is awesome. Synchros, keeping it standard. Spirit Dragon and Azurides. I considered using Moonlight in this build, but with everything else kind of in play and having the triple Nibiru, I thought that the the Moonlight Dragon, sorry you guys, was just a little unnecessary. These 2 are all you need. It just helps slow your opponent and keep your reborns kind of going on. And then moving into the XYZs, pretty heavy XYZ build. So rank 4s, Abyss Dweller, pretty much good against your main meta matchups. You know, it's great against Salamander, it's great against Orcust, great against a lot of rogue decks, and you can make it super easy. It's not a bad card. Another rank 4 to help you with stalling is Baguska, kind of just the same concept. If Abyss Dweller is not what you need, Baguska generally is the answer. And then to help with pushing, I run 1 number 60 to Garrus. He's just like a techie rank 4 that allows you to get an extra draw, double up your damage. This guy's just amazing. Really helps with just generic tool. Like he's 1 rank 4 to kind of do it all for me. Then the rank 8s are pretty standard. Hope Harbinger, Cypher Dragon, Full Armor, Cypher Blade. That's nothing new. And that's it for the XYZ plays. Looking at the links, 1 Karibo, 1 Satellite, 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, and 1 Unicorn. Now the only thing that I would be changing to my link lineup, or to my extra deck at all, is I need to get a copy of IP Masquerena. Basically, she is going to allow this deck to, you can link off your, you know, your 2 level 4 guys going first, make Masquerena, has something else on board, and then make Unicorn on your opponent's turn to spin off one of their cards. It's amazing. A card that I think you guys, if you haven't got this card yet, get it. Satellite Dragon is insane. The fact that on your opponent's turn, if he's still alive, you get to just put a card on top of your deck. He is insanely broken and amazingly useful for today's meta, with just making sure you always have basically what you need to stay alive throughout a game. Looking into the side deck now, because the games are won and lost on the sides, y'all. Got 3 Super Poly targets. Starving Venom, Salamangreat, Violet Chimera, and Muddy Mud Dragon. And then I only have 2 Super Polys. Since I got the 3 Nibirus, the Super Polys are just kind of like if you're playing a deck that doesn't consistently summon out 5 monsters in a turn, Super Poly just kind of allows you to pseudo slap these in and go to work. Kind of running that same scheme. Double Twin Twisters just to help with that back row removal. I like keeping the 2 system downs for those Orcust matchups. Just, hey, get rid of the machines. Straight up. Since the deck isn't, you know, if you want to, you can actually side out your normal summons and side into Sphere Mode. So basically a lot of the concept is just wipe out your opponent's board and hit them. I was playtesting yesterday against the Salamangreat deck. We went into a more drawn-out game. Kind of went resource heavy. I ended up top decking late game a Sphere Mode with a couple of the resources in my hand, and I was able to Sphere Mode them. He wasn't able to recover next turn pass, and I was able to kill him. So Sphere Mode can come in pretty clutch. Double Lancia for that Thunder Dragon matchup, and then hands down one of the greatest cards ever printed and evenly matched. It does all. It's a workhorse trap card. So guys, real quick before I end this video, I'm going to sum up a couple things about this deck. First and foremost, you guys might be wondering, Forrest, what you mentioned something about King of D earlier, so I'm going to jump to that real quick and just give you guys a very quick example. So, basically, you want King of D, any spell, and Dragon Shrine in your hand. Basically, all you'll do is before you'll normal summon the D, you activate Dragon Shrine, and all you're going to do is basically you pick what you want. If you want Spirit and a Stone to make instant Spirit Dragon, you do it. If you want a level 8 on board and you want Cipher, you do it. You send like Spirit and Cipher and you're golden. So basically you literally just play it out however you think you need to play the turn. And here's what I really like about this. So let's say if I was going this route, right? So you send these two, you'll activate King, you'll summon him, activate his effect, send that extra spell, and you're going to dig out Rhapsody. Now you can literally just go Rhapsody because I control a spellcaster. Boom, boom. Now it's really crazy. If you have any other level 8 in your hand, you know, because keep in mind, this is done off of 4 cards. So you've still got one mystery card in your hand. You had a random spell. You got 2 cards in your hand. You had random spell, King of D, and Dragon Shrine in your hand. So which means you got 2 potential extra cards in your hand, which means this could go into so many different routes. It is incredible. Because, you know, you could potentially use Cipher. Like, let's just say, I mean, there's just so much you guys can do. I could ramble on about this, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick example of how toolboxy he is for this deck as a dedicated normal summon, because it's amazing. Now, real quick, I want to show you guys one more thing, just to make sure you guys really see the potential that this build has to offer you against today's meta. So I'm going to set that to the side and show this. This is pretty awesome, and I'm a huge fan of this. So let's just say, for example, if you go first and you open these two, you can literally just normal summon your Witch, activate Sage, target, send it to Graveyard, get your Blue Eyes out, Witch activates, searches Nibiru. So with these 2 cards, you get Nibiru to your hand, a Blue Eyes on board, and you've still got potentially 3 other cards in your hand to play through with your turn. Now, what's also awesome is keeping in mind all of the level 4s that we put into the deck are also spellcasters, meaning that if you put any of them on the board, they can mean it makes your Dragon Rival Rhapsody live, which is awesome. So, you know, and even if your opponent knows you have this, it's going to affect how they play their turn no matter what, because they don't want to get smashy rocked, straight up. So guys, that is basically the rundown of this Blue Eyes build. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this build. What are some things that you would possibly run differently? What would you add? Like I said, guys, the only thing I wasn't able to get my hands on before I made this video was 1 copy of IP Masquerena, so I built it in a way that it functions without her. But if you can get your hands on her or already have her, I would definitely recommend running her in this deck. I think an easy card you could swap out for her is Nightmare Cerberus. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe as always. Head over to the Patreon, donating $1 a month. Helps make all these videos happen. Thank you guys again for your support. The race to 1,000 is on. Check out the podcast, Kaiba's Closet, on anywhere you like to watch podcasts. And again, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
It's time to duel!